show off my nails and I didn't have the time.
But you know,
They're in my pocket. You want me to show them?
No, let her go.
No joke. Like, do you see?
let me tell you
Press
something.
on. I don't have time. So
Genesis,
this right now is very special.
we need to know who has crazy glue so she can put it back on.
I don't want to lose my finger. I don't want to lose my finger though.
No,
I
my mom.
never happened like this.
Listen, I'm Cuban. My mom used to do that all the time. Trust.
What?
I know.
She still has her fingers?
She still has her fingers and uses them. I know. She cooks de todo.
Well, she's Cuban. She's
You
Cuban.
know. All right. Well, first, thank you again for that. And obviously, they are pure personality, but not just that. Also, pure talent in the real estate sphere. So thank you again. Genesis. Let's start off because ladies first, as we said. You have gone from beauty queen to luxury real estate agent and a Telemundo correspondent.
I know, right?
Quite the
Where do I
journey.
find the time?
That's exactly what I want to know. You know, what is your biggest I belong here moment during this transition and encompassing all of those roles?
My biggest one?
I belong here. Like that you felt this is exactly where I need to be.
That is a great question. I think I'm gonna sound a little not humble, but I think since I was born in 1991 in Barahona, the Dominican Republic, I knew exactly where I wanted to go. It's like a fire that when you know where you want to go, you have it within you, and you gotta find the right angels in your path that can help you with those dreams you have, to make those dreams come true. Because yes, I do all of those things, Telemundo. I have my Telemundo angels, I have my real estate angels, and yes, I have put in the work, but the people that are surrounding you and seeing the potential you have, they're key to your success. So although Genesis is the face, the facade of all the success, the beginning of the success, there's so many dreams that I have that is insane. If I start talking about all the dreams and desires of a very ambitious woman, we're not going to finish. But it takes a village. It looks like I do it by myself, but I don't do it by myself. When I was on Top Chef with Telemundo, Nile was taking care of the deals here. When I was on Nuestra Belleza Latina, Nile was supporting me on social media. You know, and vice versa. When I'm filming for Only Manhattan, my producers at Telemundo, they're like, we're gonna work around your schedule. It takes a village, but you gotta have the desire and the discipline. It's all about the discipline. Because you can have it within you, but if you don't have the desire and the discipline, you're not gonna go anywhere. That was hard. I'm sorry. Face to face.
Mira, some people might think that's harsh. I actually think that's truth that you're speaking. You need to be surrounded by people that encourage you and support you and can help you grow.
And it's very important when it comes to time, to who you surround yourself with, because if you're putting your time towards the wrong people, you can put that time towards the right people. Do you understand me? Instead of being with those people, investing your precious time in things that don't add value to your life, to your career, to your family, to your health, you need to make a switch. And that's what I do. I pick wisely with who I'm going to spend my time with.
And I think that you have chosen wisely and not based on everything that you just said.
We chose each other. We're like a married couple. So getting married, by the way.
Oh, congratulations.
It's engaged.
Well, now, if Jensen needs to speak the mic. So you built over $400 million business. First off, that's phenomenal. So congratulations. So what is the mind shift or the mindset that happened within you that you said, I'm going to go from just this level to now high-end luxury and make it happen and make it look seamless?
Well, great question. Thank you so much for having me, by the way. I would say the biggest thing that I think is similar to Genesis, which is funny because I'm learning more about Genesis every day. And just like she said, exactly. But just like she said, you have to have it within you, inside. And I've always known that I've been destined for greatness since I was very young. And that's how I proceeded with my life. Nobody will believe you if you don't first believe in yourself. So that's the most important thing that you could do. And I did that. And I also knew that real estate is a business that takes time. So I said, I'm gonna make a decision. I started selling real estate when I was 23 years old. My first ever commission check was $600, okay? I made $7,000 in my first year selling real estate, okay? Probably $10,000 in my second year. But I knew where I was going. I also knew that I got into this business early. And I knew that if I just stuck with it, because everybody in this room is in real estate. Real estate is a long, slow-moving game. Every one of your clients, maybe they transact every 7 years. So just with that in mind, it's a long game. There's really no shortcuts to the business. So for me, I always knew that I had to pay my dues. For example, I was in the business for 14 years, and I aligned myself in that business to be the person who Ryan Serhant called. Ryan Serhant, I always had him on my radar. I looked at maybe a spreadsheet that I made of who I wanted to work with. In 2014, Ryan Serhant was on the top of the list. But I knew that I had to earn it. So over the course of 2014 to 2001, I busted my butt and I went from selling small deals, $600,000, $700,000, $1 million. Oh my God, I did $1 million deal. Okay, and in my 14-year career, before I met Ryan Serhant, I sold $100 million worth of real estate.
Wow.
But that's in 14 years. Right. This is the thing, is that 14 years to sell 100 million. And then I made a bet to go to Ryan Serhant because he called me because I had been putting myself out there with content and social media and on YouTube. And when he called me and I came over to Serhant, the first year that I was with Serhant, I sold $100 million. I did my entire 14-year career in 1 year. So that's what is out there if you take the long game into consideration for this business. I knew I wanted to sell luxury. I knew I was going to be the one selling it. But I also knew that I had to learn what luxury was actually like. Do you know what it feels like to ride in a Rolls Royce? Serious? Do you know what kind of furniture are in a $30 million apartment? Because it's custom. The furniture is also custom. You know, these type of things are part of my process. I had to learn what luxury was. I had to say, who do I know that has a private jet? And how many times can I ride that jet? You know what I'm saying? Who has a yacht? Can I get on a yacht? Right? But over time, I have accumulated luxury knowledge and I paid my dues. And then when the moment came, lights out.
Wow.
I want to add something before we move on from what Nile said. People think that the word ambition and being ambitious is bad. And this is why sometimes some people, when you tell them I'm very ambitious, and they're like, oh, that is a bad word. That's why you don't continue to what you want, because other people that don't have the cojones, okay? Seriously, to do what you're doing and get on that path, they get on your way, because being ambitious is a bad thing. Being ambitious is such a great thing. When you're ambitious, you get to go to the best restaurants, to experience luxury. You wear nice heels, okay? They cost. I gotta work hard. You wear nice heels, you get on private jet, you get on yachts. But those things comes through ambitions. If you're just settle for less and you're thinking that you deserve the minimum, you're not gonna reach the luxury level. Because although people see Mark Zuckerberg with a white t-shirt, don't be fooled, he's wearing Loro Piana. You guys know that, right? Okay, that's luxury. Just in case.
I think in this group you'll find that ambition is not a word that we think is bad, but we celebrate
Please don't be
it.
afraid of that word.
So I think you touched upon something very important, Miles, which was that relationships are the key to everything here. So how do you suggest within the groups here, mostly realtors, how do you leverage those relationships? How do you connect with those high net individuals to make it, not transactional, right? Because it's not a transaction. We all work to make our deals and our relationships authentic. So how do you go about finding those connections?
So anytime you want to develop connections, it's important to get up off of your ass and move and shake and talk to people and get numbers. It's one thing to go to an event like this and dish out 50 business cards. It's another thing to come to an event like this and get 50 phone numbers. Because if you give out a business card, the chances are no one's going to reply. But if you get everyone's number, then it's a different story. So when I go out and I meet people, I'm like 1-2 conversations in, I'm like looking at the watch, okay, yeah, what's your number? And I just put it right in front of them. But I go out and I, people might think it's aggressive, but like I'm active, I'm proactive in my own success. So when I go out, I'm looking, I'm seeing, I'm like, all right, there we go, right there, all right. And then I'm walking over, like, hey, how about the weather? And then all of a sudden, we're in a conversation. And then I'm like, oh, you sound cool, man, just here, what's your number? Just put it right here. Right? So then you have to do that often. And not everybody that you meet is going to be a home run, but it's a numbers game. And you have to be comfortable making that first outreach. You have to have a sincere desire inside of you to go up to that person, because it's not easy to walk up to strangers. And there's a lot of people in this room. And I've been fortunate to be on the Owning Manhattan show, and because of that, we've been on a tour. This is like the 5th speaking engagement in the last 7 days I've had. What I found is that by being in these rooms, okay, I'm not the only one who has the privilege of being in these rooms. You are all in this room together right now. So when you're in a room like this, all of your leads, all of your contacts, if you're a broker, real estate agent, you talk to the bankers, you talk to the other vendors here, because they might be the person who's going to have your next lead. So it's about being proactive, having a genuine curiosity for what luxury is. And once you start to understand what luxury is, real luxury, then you can spot it in the room. And then you just hone in on it. And then you attack. That's what I would do.
Genesis, anything to add, or 100% Nile got it right?
Oh, talking about sending referrals and leads, just because we do luxury, we can still take your Manhattan $600 referral, okay? Send it our way, just in case. Okay?
I feel you. I'm an agent with Coldwell Banker. I cover all of North New Jersey. Just letting you know.
Nice word!
Listen, we all got goals here, girl.
Cannot be afraid. You're gonna tell them like this.
Absolutely not. So, speaking of which, you mentioned the word luxury a ton. Obviously, you have it in the title of this. What do you consider luxury? How do you define it? And how do you communicate that to your clients, not just based on a price point? Whoever you guys want.
Do you want to answer, Genesis? I'll give you first. Okay. Luxury. I mean, price point definitely is a factor in luxury. That's number one. But also, when you, like I said, if you take a genuine curiosity, right, in what wealthy people do, your goal is to find one wealthy person. Once you find that one wealthy person, you start getting into that circle, then you understand what it means to live like a wealthy person. For example, I have a friend who sold his company for $381 million. I didn't transact with him for 7 years. So I met him, and then for 7 years, I was just his friend. Kind of like a Trojan horse. I was like, yeah, that's cool. And all I did was add value. I'm adding value. Oh, you need this? I got you. Oh, you're not from around here? Oh, you need tickets here? Okay, I'm going to go do that. And so I built a lot of trust with this individual. And by doing that, he would invite me to more and more events, more and more parties that he would throw at his house. And when you start to see how they live, how they operate, one thing I'll give you an example of. How do you know what real luxury is when you walk into a house? Well, there's elements. There's water elements. There's fire elements, right? Like, is there a breeze? Where's the sunset? Does the sunset directly in front of the house, or is it over to the side? How do you see the mornings? Does the sun rise this way? Does the sun set over there? Because those things matter. They play into people's lifestyle. If you're an early riser with children, you definitely want the east facing. If you're a wealthy person who's made their money, doesn't wake up until 2 p.m., which I have those clients, it's got to be west facing. When you go and you hang out, for example, in Miami, one of my biggest clients, he says, I will not buy anything that doesn't have indoor, outdoor living. Meaning you need to be indoors, but also have the ability to have the door open so that you can get the breeze. He's like, I want to be indoors, but I also want to feel the breeze. Right? It's these little extra touch points that make a difference. So by being undercover as a Trojan horse, I wanted to get the business, but I was also like, oh my God, I'm learning so much. And then with my next wealthy client, I'm like, is this indoor or outdoor? Did you know that it was the sunset's over there? And the guy's like, oh, I get that, you know? Or I could go into a kitchen, and if there's no pullout for the garbage, I'm like, I go to the agent for that listing, and I'll say, is there no pullout for the garbage here, or do you expect the garbage cans to be out? And then I just, and then my client's like, yeah, right? But I learn these things. So every time you get a moment to be in front of these people, you take little tiny things from them. You add value to them so that you can stay close. But then you take little tiny things, and then the second I take that, better believe the next showing I'm on, I'm highlighting that. Well, you know what? What my other client does is this. And they're like, ooh, that's good, right? And then that's where your value comes in, and they feel more comfortable working with you because you know how to identify luxury, spot luxury, find out where it might look luxurious, but there's no garbage. It doesn't, you're facing another building. You don't have a sunset. The views are compromised. There's going to be another building coming up. Genesis and I are selling a penthouse right now in Miami because we sell all across America. Okay, let's just start there. And we got a penthouse in Miami. And it's a great penthouse. It's with a famous person. We can't say.
Telenovela actor.
Telenovela actor. Well, yeah, you'll know soon. It'll probably be in Las Noticias.
I think everyone in this room might know him.
Yeah. So anyway, we represent him. And the terrible thing, well, the good thing is that we represent him. But the terrible thing is the view is going to be compromised because a new building is going up right in front. So we know that we have to work very, very fast so that we sell it to the person, get our client the most amount of money before they build the building and block the view, right? But it's like those little types of things where if you go above and beyond, that's how you know what real luxury is. And if you can communicate that to your clients, you will 100% have a better selling experience with them.
To add to Nile, obviously, if you have the budget, I think you should treat yourself to a certain experience, because when you go on showings with these clients, you want to find something in common. Oh, I went to the museum last week. I saw the Van Gogh exhibition. Oh, I went shopping there. Oh, I love the salad from San Ambrose. Those little things that can make them trust you. They're very small, but they work. Because they work for me. I'm giving you my tips for free. We are.
No, we appreciate that so much because we're learning here, all of us, on many factors. One of them that you guys really excel at is media and branding. So how do you feel that that's helped you in your career and helped position you in your space?
I mean, we know what social media is doing to the world. The world is evolving around social media. So we gotta keep up with that. And I don't consider myself good. He says I'm very good by putting myself out there. I'm in front of a camera every day for a lot of hours. And it just has become easier for me. And of course, since I'm so used to now being in front of a lens, the clients can feel my personality, who I am through the lens, my authenticity, and creating the right content bring me clients. But you got involved with what's happening. And the reality is that it's all about social media.
What do you think? You said something very interesting to me. What do you think is the right content? How would you say, like, mixing it up, funny, more informational?
There is no right or wrong content. You gotta be you. You gotta be authentic yourself. Because people can smell the bullshit. Like
Everybody said yes.
listen, you know how hard it is to pretend to be someone else?
Exhausting. Nobody has time for that.
Toxic, exhausting. Like, oh my God. Being yourself is the easiest thing. Get in front of the lens and be yourself. Hi, I'm Genesis Suero. I'm 200% Dominican. I work with Nile Lundgren. I'm his business partner, and I'm the OG woman of the Lundgren team. You know how easy that is, instead of me pretending to be Ryan Cernan, and then I'm Gringa. No, that's not me. Being yourself is easy, and if you get in front of the camera and be yourself, it's a piece of cake. But there is no right or wrong. Like, for example, if you see my Instagram, Genesis, I share everything that has to be with work, right? Because Genesis Suero, there's so much about her out there that there are certain things that I don't show, right? But I always show what I do when it comes to work. So my interviews with my celebrity clients at Telemundo, inspirational stories of people here in the United States, and my real estate transactions. We also show a lot our property tours. They say we are the best at doing our property tour. That's what they say on YouTube. Don't believe me, go on YouTube. Or our social media. But yeah, you just gotta be yourself, you know? And there is no right or wrong. If you pretend, probably there's a little wrong, but if you are yourself. But one thing though, I always say when you are filming and recording yourself, obviously you should have your own mark, your stamp, something that separates you from others. Like, I have been lucky and I have worked my butt off to be able to work at Telemundo in a certain, right? That already puts me in a category that no one is a certain, probably. Right? That puts me already in a category by working in the #1 Spanish network, Telemundo, and by working in one of the best real estate brokerage in the United States, right? And on top of that, I'm proud of my heritage, so I'm very vocal when I'm speaking about where I come from, my struggle of who I am. And yeah, that's Genesis, you know? That's
I think even Nile is part Dominican at this point. Because I see
100%, 200%.
Oh, you know what I say about Nile?
Tell me.
He's my brother from Connecticut. He's my Dominican brother from Connecticut because Nile was born in Connecticut. And at this point, he's Dominican by association. Come on. See?
Claro que sí.
Oh yeah, that's Don't worry, my husband is Cuban by association as well, so there are no options here. All right, so what are 1 or 2 non-negotiables when it comes to your personal brand, since we're talking about that?
I also want to say something just to make it. I'll answer this question, but I would like to say something afterwards. So a non-negotiable in terms of my brand. If I put out anything specifically that has to do with media, the first 3 seconds better capture the audience. Number 1, if like we're in a scrolling environment, everybody's scrolling. If you don't capture them right off the bat, that's a big problem. So for example, these are the mechanics. If you have a video that's 10 seconds long, and the peak of the video is at second 7, okay? What you do in your app is you cut that one part out, and put it right at the front. But keep it there.
Right.
So it's like a flash, and they're like, wait, what's that? And then it starts. And then you still give it to them, and then the resolution. So the first 3 seconds better capture everybody's attention. And then from there, there's a lot of other things that I do. I'm meticulous with my brand. I have Google alerts set for my name. Anytime my name, my image, anything comes up on the internet, I'm all over it, making sure that I'm managing the brand. But it's a longer conversation probably, but I would say the first couple seconds of anything that you put out better have something that it grabs their attention. Because if it doesn't, they're gonna keep scrolling.
My non-negotiable is simple. My content have to be in Spanish and English. Everyone has to know that I'm bilingual. Because there are Latin people that have a lot of money. That come from anywhere, I'm serious, anywhere from Latin America. You will be surprised. The best example where the money from Latin America is Miami, South Florida. That's why we're there. That's why Nile is learning the language. Because there is a market that has a lot of money, and it's the Latin market. And once you search my name, it's so funny, I got invited to a conference about Dominican realtors, and I got a call out of nowhere. When you call me, I'm never gonna say it's me. I'm always gonna say, who's this? Because I don't know if you want to scam me. So I said, who is this? And they said, are you Genesis, the Dominican broker? I'm like, who are you? And how do you know I'm Dominican? Because I searched Dominican broker on Google. The first thing that came up about a Dominican broker, it was you. So I stick to my origins, to where I come from, to my brand, and it's being Latina, Dominican, and bilingual. And as of now, it has worked for me. And I don't only work with Latino clients, I work with everyone. I'm the United Nations.
Can I say what I wanted to say?
You can definitely tell.
If I could have everybody's attention for 1 second, I want to say something that I think is very important. How many people here are Spanish speaking?
Exacto.
Todo el mundo aquí. Perfecto. What she said was that the Latin market is incredible and it has a lot of money, right? So by default, you all have something in common with people who have money. I'm gonna tell you a story. So when I first joined Sirhan, I said, I need to diversify, okay? I'm a white boy. This is the important part. You can talk all you want outside, and that's okay.
Your loss.
So when I joined Sirhan, I said, I want to make a difference. I need to diversify. So what I did was I went on Instagram and I started searching NYC real estate. And what I found was there was one Dominican in Westchester who kept posting with that hashtag. And it was Genesis. She had about 9,000 followers at the time. How many followers do you have now?
170.
Oh,
wow.
let me
By the way, it's 171 now. I checked. We're close. So I saw her come up in Instagram under NYC Real Estate, okay? And she had 9,000 followers. And I called her just like one of those sketchy scammers, okay? And I said, hey Genesis, my name's Nile Lundgren. I work with Ryan Sirhan, and he told me to call you, okay? He didn't really tell me to call her, but I called her anyway.
cannot get enough of me.
I know, Ryan loves Genesis, by the way. He loves Genesis. So she said, wait, who are you? I said, look, I want to meet you. I have a plan, I have a vision for where you're gonna go. And she said, I don't know you. I'm not meeting you for anything. I said, whoa, I'm telling you, Ryan Sirhan is telling me to call you to meet because I think there's some big opportunities that we can have. And we she was not easy. I was like, we fought for like 5 minutes back and forth, but she's Dominican, so it's normal. She's my sister, we fight every day. At 2 o'clock, she has in her calendar, call Nile, start a fight. It just, it's okay, she does that, I swear to God. You guys are laughing. You're laughing.
Don't pretend to be an angel.
Totally true. I'm not an angel.
Okay.
I'm not an angel. So I booked a meeting with her in a public place because why not? Right now, I'm like, hey, you don't have to come to the office, we'll meet in a public place, okay? I met her there and I said, Genesis, I see you being one of the biggest real estate agents in New York City, period. You represent a market, in my opinion, that is unrepresented in New York City real estate. So I knew that. I was somebody who I also majored, I had 2 majors in college, English, and my second was Los Estudios Hispanicos. I studied in Barcelona. I learned Spanish over there. I'm not perfect, but I knew the importance of what being bilingual was. And I also knew the importance of, I'm not the best Spanish speaker, so let me get a really good Spanish speaker. So I found Genesis. I convinced her to join Sirhan. She joined Sirhan. And then what? You went
Nuestra belleza latina. Well, so when I met with Nile, and do you guys remember in the beginning when I said that it's very important where you put your time? So that's why I asked him, what do you want from me? Why do I need to be with you? What do you? And it's not like it's not what you have to give me, but why do I have to meet you? You know, what is the reason? I'm busy. Although I was in Westchester at that time working, I was doing a lot of business. He stole me from a great broker, Joseph Constantino from Morris Park Realty. So when I met with him, I already had an interview with Univision to go on Nuestra Belleza Latina. Probably some of you guys know about that show. So I said to Nile, listen Nile, I want to do this. I have to go to Miami to live in a mansion with no cell phone for 3 months. But if I promise you, if I don't win, because if back then, if I had the opportunity to win, I would have to live in Miami. So I said to Naya, listen, if I lose, I'm gonna come back and join your team. And that's exactly what happened. I placed as a turn runner up, and when I got my phone, that I went into social media, I saw Nile supporting me. I'm like, oh, this guy is relentless. He's after me. I gave him my words. So I think he worked after my family. The second person I called and I told him, listen, I am going to join Sirhan. And thanks to Nile, I'm part of Sirhan. Although I also had admiration for Ryan for a long time because I used to have a boyfriend back then, and my boyfriend said to me that I was going to end up working with Ryan. And that happened through Nile. You see, life is weird, right? And he said to me that I was going to be part of the show. At that time, it was $1 Million List in New York. Cut off, gone. And then I said, okay, at least I'm a great guy, right? I'm with Nile, 2 great guys, Nile and Ryan. And then Nile and Ryan said, come to the office at this time. And we were in a meeting room, and at that time, the show was going to be called House of Sirhan, and the rest is history. And that's why we're part of Netflix.
I got one other thing to say after that. So that was the start. And obviously, we are now on the show of Owning Manhattan, which is on Netflix. Season 2 comes out, and Genesis is going to be predominantly featured. But for every single Latin person here, okay, for everybody in the room, what you have to understand is this, is that when I met her, she had less than 10,000 followers. And I have not met one person in my life who works harder than Genesis. She is up every single day. She has pride in her nationality. She has pride in what she does, the 7 different jobs that she has. I am so impressed with what she does because we filmed a reality show. And
We're still filming.
We're still filming, by the way. And she has other jobs and business, and she does all of it. And I'm just so thrilled for her and her success because I saw it personally. I saw the work that she put in every day. Remember, if you look at season 1, Genesis was not featured as much as she should have been in season 1.
Yeah, I agree.
And I was crushed by that. I called her first thing in the morning and she was also crushed because she filmed the full season and they gave her a minute of airtime. And you know what she did? She said, nope, no worries. I will do it in season 2. And you will see in season 2 when it comes out that this woman, this Latin Dominican right here in front of me, I'm telling you right now, she is the representation of what it means to be a woman, what it means to be Dominican, what it means to have pride in what you're doing, because she did it. This is proof. I met her when there was not much. And she has gone every single day, every month, she's gone higher and higher and higher. And if she can do it, you can do it too. That's the message. That is the message for each and every single one of you. And I couldn't be more proud to be on this stage right now with Genesis, because I swear to God, Genesis, mi hermana aquí, I swear to God, I love her so much. She is my sister, I swear to God. And I will tell you that once you see season 2 and you watch and you see Genesis shine, because she's going to shine bright. You will all know that what I said right now, I really mean.
Well, thank you for your kind words, Nile. But honestly, I cannot do it without you either because I am so busy and we're like an extension of each other. It's like we have like this je ne sais quoi. It's just like I cannot explain the dynamic Nile and I have, but he's there for me and I'm there for him. And honestly, you need that in life. You need someone who you can fight, who you can laugh, who you can trust, share ideas, be yourself, not pretend. I'm a big believer of being yourself. And then, right, you're my home. We are each other's home. And going back to what Naya said, I was also in Colombia when the first season of Only Manhattan was being filmed. And yes, I felt a certain way. Naya felt it too. But I don't know if it's a good thing or a bad thing. But I'm the type of person who probably cries for 2 days. And she's like, no, that's it. We gotta move on. There's more time. There are gonna be more opportunity. I believe in the power of a no and rejection. Because every time you get rejected or someone says no to you, something better and bigger always happens. I did not win Miss USA, I did not win Miss Dominican Republic, but honey, I'm winning. And this is just the beginning. I always say to Nile, it doesn't matter if we lose a listing because we are imperfect. If we lose a listing, if we lose a partnership opportunity or anything, because every time something that we thought was going to be great for us, something greater comes in. It's just weird, but that is something that I learned from my dad. Actually, we're Latinos. We're a little impatient, and I have a little bit of both, right? Impatient, but I'm more patient than impatient. I know how to wait. I know how to ¿cómo lo puedo decir? I know how to wait for the right time. I know how to bite my nails, like to wait, to hold for what it's coming. It's not easy, you know. Being patient is not easy, but when you're patient, you get great rewards. It works for me all the time. When people see me, they're like, "Oh my God, Genesis, how do you do it?" I'm like, what do you mean? I work at a Dominican cafeteria selling chilis. All of you know what chimichurris are, right? I work at a supermarket, and one of my best
jobs. It was a Bloomingdale's, well, not discount. I worked at Bloomingdale's for 10 years, and I was afraid to leave Bloomingdale's because I had a salary, and I had my 401k, and I have insurance, and my parents didn't want me to leave Bloomingdale's. But something deep in me knew that not that Bloomingdale's is a bad place to work, but that I deserve better. That I knew there was more for me. I had clients with black cards. I didn't know what was an Amex black card. And I asked my colleague, I'm like, dude, there are people that are paying with a heavy black card. What is that? And when I started learning about those things that are luxury, I'm like, wait a minute. There are things out there that I deserve. How can I get them? How can I get them? I had clients that were real estate lawyers, real estate developers, but you know what? When I was there at Bloomingdale's, those clients saw in me a good salesperson. Because those clients used to say to me, I used to work for a Suero company, a great company, if you can sell me a cream, you can sell me a building. I was like, really? And one of them even offered me a voucher to go to real estate school. And I said, I cannot this time. And then eventually, when I was ready, I brought my mother, because I needed the affidavit from Bloomingdale's, from Estilos companies. I brought her from the Dominican Republic, and then I joined real estate. And it has been the best decision I ever made. And thank God you're part of that decision now. Thank you so much. You have made it very well. It's not easy. Although we sell luxury, real estate is not easy because we don't come from a real estate background, you know? We have built our network, our reputation in the business, and we gotta work 20 times, not 10 times, 20 times harder when you don't have a background in real estate, especially luxury real estate.
I love that it's all about waiting for the right opportunity and not getting impatient. And something that Nile talked about very briefly that's important in NARAP is we actually have something called the Hispanic Wealth Project that talks about just how impactful the Hispanic, the Latino community is within the economic growth of our country. And Edwin Acevedo, the president-elect of NARAP, is going to speak upon that in his final remarks for the evening. But guys, you have been amazing. I want to know if you have any last words or words of wisdom to leave our crowd with tonight.
Are we gonna do any Q&A? Do you want to do one or two? Or we gotta go?
Yeah.
We can do 2 questions.
2 questions instead of the final thought. We'll give some to the people.
Andrea back.
There you go.
Yeah, instead of that.
Hey guys, what are the key qualities that you look in an individual to join your team?
For me, in general, I'm looking for somebody who's willing to get kicked in the teeth for about 5 years straight. And then still keep coming back. That's the number one thing. You have to face rejection in this business. 90% of the time you're being rejected. It's the 10% that makes you 100% of your money. So somebody who's able to deal with that. And I will be asking for specific examples.
All right, Tanya, in the front.
So you kind of touched on it, but I know that you're an athlete. So you play football, right?
That's correct.
And I know Genesis, you're a runner.
I know.
So-
Although I have to stop a little bit to make money. It takes a lot of time. Marathons, I did half marathons, full marathons, yeah.
So
But I work out every day.
I feel like those are great foundations to know how to take rejection and get kicked in the teeth. So for those of us, my kids are athletes, I am not, that don't play sports, can you give us some just tips on how to take rejection, the way that you took it when you were starting? Not now, because now it's a different game. But when you were starting, how did you take rejection in a way that we can all relate to?
Just so you
just
know, they
like
still hurt.
So that everybody hears the question, Tanya mentioned that they're both were athletes in the past, and she wants to know how they face rejection now, or actually when they started, not so much now, even though it still hurts, as Genesis was saying.
I mean, whether you're studying or where you are at the pinnacle of your career, rejection will hurt no matter what. But it all depends on what do you do when you get rejected. And you gotta stay focused with what you want, your goal, because there is not a straight line to reaching your goal. And you're gonna get rejected, you're gonna get obstacles, family issues, friend issues that can become not only rejection problems, but they can become distraction. You gotta stay with the eyes on the prize. Like I mentioned earlier with the word ambition. You gotta stay on it. On it, doesn't matter. Doesn't matter if you're getting rejected. You gotta just go, 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 go.
And my answer to that is that in order to deal with rejection, you can't take everything so personal. It's okay. It's business. So what? Your best friend, doesn't want to work with you because you're new in the business. Okay, maybe you need a new best friend. Right? Because my best friends know who to call. Right?
Or maybe they have other good traits that you like about that.
Yeah, and that's fine. But you can't take it personal. I just lost a $4 million deal. My partner on that deal, Samir, he called me. He was like, "What are we gonna do? This is devastating. $4 million, big deal." My response was more. More. The more balls you have in the air, the less likely you're going to be heartbroken over that one deal. I have 20 deals like that, so I lost one. Okay, whatever. Keep moving. I am the prize, like Genesis said. Don't take it so personal. Everything's okay. Keep going. Keep going. Keep going.
Thank you both once again for taking the time to be here. You were fantastic. A big round of applause, guys.
One more thing. If you can all take out your phones right now and put your light on, you think we can do that? Can everyone take their phones out right now?
We're gonna do a concert.
Yeah, we're gonna do a little bachata on stage.
You see, guys, he's Dominican.
All right, everybody take them out. Take them out. Okay, is everyone taking them out? Everybody's taking them out? Okay, cool. Genesis and I are gonna say something. You're gonna say it. Okay?
Vamos.
All right, ready? So our Genesis and I are gonna go like this.
Uno, dos,